What's up everyone, I'm Twisted. I'm still working on my video on Act 3, but as you may already know, the ending is a bit controversial, so instead of recording my reaction right after watching it, I actually wanted to sit down, write my thoughts to make sure I say everything that I want to say, so you can expect that video to come out maybe next week. Today we'll be checking out the new update for League of Legends and for TFT, and I think later this week I'll play the new Jinx minigame and make a video about it as well, so look forward to that. With this being said, let's watch this new dev blog.
Hey folks, I'm Andre, also known as Meddler.
And I'm Paul, also known as Pabro. We're back with the final dev update of 2024. Today is November 8th. We just wanted to give you a warning. We will be talking about Arcane spoilers.
Yeah guys, if you haven't watched it yet, don't watch this video.
Finale, skip to the time on the screen.
Okay, spoiler disclaimer out of the way. Let's take a moment to talk about Arcane. It's been such an amazing journey to watch the story play out. And like many of you, we're sad it's over. But don't worry, we do still have a few more things in store on the game side.
Alright.
When we got started on Season 1, we got to watch the champions in Arcane live out stories we'd already seen or knew a little bit of. Or in some cases, we got to really flesh out the backstory of some older champions.
With Season 1, Caitlyn received a visual update to better align the game and the show. And for Season 2, we're doing something...
Yeah, and it's funny that they are saying this, but I don't think in Season 1 champions really got to the point where they are like really recognizable as the game versions. I don't know if they quite got there, and I think a lot of people were expecting them to either get there by the end of the previous season or by the end of this season, and didn't really happen, right? That those expectations weren't really met.
Similar for Victor, and tomorrow you'll see his update hit PBE.
We're not pulling a Gangplank and disabling him because he's dead.
Well, hold on. I think you're onto something with killing Gangplank and other characters. Okay.
Spoilers.
Anyway, we wanted to better represent his evolved, powered-up form we saw in Arcane, and the personality that goes along with it. Victor's update is primarily focused on updating his visuals, audio, and backstory. We want to showcase the striking evolution and change.
But it's a VGU, right?
Sure. So we're going to keep the gameplay you know and love, with a slight change to his ultimate.
Okay.
It will still function largely the way it does now, but it'll get bigger with every kill until the ult is over. We wanted to mirror the feeling from Arcane, where he manifests a massive, growing storm that consumes everything around him.
I don't remember that happening in the show, but sure.
We do want to point out that because of the updates to Prototype Victor, his price will be increasing from 520 RP to 750 RP. If you want to get him at the cheaper price, make sure you get it before his update.
So what's Prototype Victor? They're not going to show us?
Spoilers. So right now, we'll hand
I assume it's going to be like Season 1 or early Season 2, maybe?
over to Steph and Chad to talk about seasons.
Right, now, here's the good stuff.
AKA McIver. I'm the seasons lead on League of Legends.
And I'm Steph, aka 100-Piece Nuggets, or the cosmetics lead.
In the last dev update, Meddler and Pabra mentioned we're introducing thematic seasons. So today, we're here to talk more about what a season is, what to expect with the theme, and what the experience is going to be.
I'm actually pretty excited about this.
The Rift.
Over the years, we fleshed out the world and regions of Runeterra, as well as various alternate universes like Star Guardian, High Noon, or Darkstar. We've highlighted these worlds in moments like summer events or narrative drops around champion releases. Now we want to take that immersion further with our new seasons.
So next year, we're going to have 3 seasons, each around 8 patches long, where we're going to follow champions around
Okay.
regions of Runeterra.
We already knew this.
Each one is going to have its own theme, but we're going to have an overarching narrative that connects them throughout 2025.
And
Wait,
each season's
all the seasons are going to be connected through narrative? Is that what he said?
Each one is going to have its own theme, but we're going to have an overarching narrative that connects them throughout 2025.
An overarching narrative that connects each season? That's cool. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting each season to tell its own, like, closed story. Interesting.
And each season's theme will be the anchor for most of the content going into the game as well.
In the past, we've had these big releases like Swarm or Spirit of Hearthhome. They're super
Was that a big release?
fun, but
The
they're also
minigame for
connected to a
Aurora?
larger integrated moment. And in seasons, we want everything to connect together. That means things like gameplay updates, modes, mini games, and champions will mainly have a strong tie to the season's theme.
We'll have a bunch of
This is cool. This is like Wild Rift.
seasonal theme, but we'll also continue to invest in a wide variety of skin lines that are unrelated to the season as well. So expect to see cosmetics celebrating Lunar Revel or things like bees.
Ultimately, our goal is to immerse you in the parts of the world that we're visiting from the moment you open the client to the moment you see the victory screen and everything in between. So enough tiptoeing around it. We know that you want to know what Season 1 is. So, for our first ever season, we are headed to the land of strength and domination, Noxus.
Welcome to Noxus, Season 1. They're calling it Season 1. That's funny.
Designer for League.
And I'm Riot Oberon, project lead of the Summoner's Rift team. Next year, when you step onto the Rift, it'll look a little bit different than you're used to. We want seasons to be a way you can immerse yourself in League, especially once you load onto the Rift. So we have a preview of some of the updates you can expect in Season 1 of 2025.
We're headed to everyone's favorite region.
Oh, this is cool. I wanna go a bit back, look at this design. That's cool. This is almost reminding me of the Arcana skins, because Noxus doesn't usually have so much gold. Like we see it like in some of the cards in Legends of Runeterra, but it's usually a lot of red and a lot of black and grays, right? So seeing a lot of gold is weird from the perspective that this is supposed to be in-game. I understand that they probably needed more color variety.
Everyone's favorite region of fierce fighters, cloak and dagger.
This is cool. Having different structures. I wonder if these also have different gameplay elements.
Magic and strength, above all.
Oh,
Prepare to be
and that helmet, very familiar.
decimated. Beyond the Noxian invasion of the map, we've also made
You can see here a black rose. That's cool.
We've also made some gameplay improvements and changes for next year.
First, it wouldn't be a new season without an overhaul to the item system. Just kidding. But there are some Noxian-themed boot upgrades.
Ooh.
But it's not as simple as picking them up from the shop.
Oh, this one kind of looks like Ambessa's boots in Arcane. Huh. These all look pretty decent, pretty cool.
In fact, they come along with a new mechanic, Feats of Strength.
There are 3 objectives that your team can claim throughout the game. First Blood,
What's happening with TFPS here?
First Tower, and first 3 epic jungle monsters. If your team is the first to complete 2 of these 3 objectives, so for example, First Blood and First Tower, your Tier 2 boots will transform into new versions with slightly better stats.
Okay.
You also get access to powerful Noxus-themed boots, which you can purchase as a final upgrade. We want Feats of Strength to celebrate
Not
our
really
team's successes
that
without
interesting,
really
I think.
snowballing the game out of control. We're experimenting with different types of power progression to see how it feels for a reward in the early game to open up more choices in the late game.
We're also introducing Nexus turret respawning.
Okay, this is cool.
The frustrating experience is just winning a late game team fight only to lose your Nexus turrets. You kept the game alive, but at what cost? Now it feels like your team is doomed to hang around in your base for another 200 years, babysitting an open Nexus. To give your team a better chance at coming back from these situations, your Nexus turrets will now respawn after a set time once they're destroyed.
That's cool. I like this.
Now, your team can rally for an epic comeback without having to worry about a backdoor cast-in. Finally, let's dig into the biggest update.
All right, now we're talking.
Bringer of Ruin. The new epic jungle monster is drawn to death and destruction.
Oh, he does not look like this in Legends of Runeterra. So yeah, in case you didn't know, Atakan, or Athakan, I don't know how they pronounced it, is a follower from Legends of Runeterra that was introduced alongside LeBlanc. And as far as we know, it's a demon that's being imprisoned by the Black Rose, and it might be one of Mordekaiser's pets, or used to be one of Mordekaiser's pets, because we know that Mordekaiser used to have 2 beasts, one of fire, which is Tibur's, and one of smoke, I believe it was the term, but we never got an official confirmation that Atakan was that beast. This is just speculation.
He will spawn only once at 20 minutes.
Yeah, it did not look like this, right? But I guess he adds the helmet in Legends of Runeterra, and here it doesn't, so
On either the
I guess
top
that makes
or
sense.
bottom side of the map, whichever side has seen the most champion damage and kills by 14 minutes. To signal where he'll make his entrance, Atakan's arena will spawn, adding new permanent walls to that side of the map. Atakan's dark influence will also cause blood roses to grow periodically in the areas where champions have been killed. More death means more roses.
Okay, so a lot of references to the Black Rose, like even Atakan himself, right?
Blood roses drop bloody petals for your entire team, which stack any number of
I
times.
assume this is more like thematic than anything else, because as far as we know, Atakan doesn't really have like rose-related powers. He's like someone that was imprisoned by the Black Rose. I have a couple questions on what direction they are taking with the character.
And last through the entire game. For each petal collected, your whole team gains a small experience and power boost. So if you see one, grab it.
Atakan has 2
Oh.
forms, Ruinous and Voracious. Higher action games spawn Ruinous Atakan, who you might want to fight up close and personal to avoid his constricting rings of damage, which creates the perfect chance for an ace and a steal. Killing Ruinous Archon grants bloody petals to the team who kills him and spawns a grove of blood roses in the area for anyone to collect. Voracious Archon spawns in lower action games. He does less damage to his enemies, but as his name implies, is hungrier. As his health gets lower, he gets an increasingly more powerful drain ability based on missing health. The team who takes down Voracious Archon gets a one-time rebirth buff, similar to Guardian Angel. So now you really have a reason to force that team fight.
We're introducing Arcane.
I was expecting something new.
Your T1, a 20-minute Baron is pretty tough to get.
But that's fine.
Moving Baron's spawn back to 25 minutes and providing another mid-game macro option in the form of Arcane. Second, based on how Arcane plays out each game, we hope to see more different and interesting game states in both mid and late.
Isn't this like a bit of an awkward position to have like a powerful jungle monster so close to one of the lanes?
And we feel that designing an objective
definitely different
and rewards are decided by how you play should make each game of League feel more varied.
Our goal is for every gameplay change to make League better. As we move to seasons, this remains the same, so these changes were designed for the long term. That said, we'll keep an eye on how they...
So does that mean that Arcane is going to remain on the Rift post Noxus season, or is that something that they will remove and introduce something different in its place?
Landing and make adjustments if needed. But for now, Arcane and all the other updates are here to stay for good.
Oh, okay.
Can't wait to see how these go as you start your climbs next year.
You can earn 12 skins per year with the free pass.
Ooh, 12 skins?
Skins will be themed to the season you unlock them in.
12 free skins with a free pass? That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. This is actually like a cool change. This might actually make people want to play the game more. Like free skins, let's just hope they are decent. Alright, so they talked about ranked resets, a new alternative to quick play, and the multiplayer version of the practice tool. Not super interesting things to react to, so I won't include them here, but you're free to check out the original video and learn more about them.
Before we wrap up, one last seasons thing. We'll be changing up how we name patches to match seasons. So instead of patch 15.1 coming out in January, it'll be patch 25.s1.1.
25, season 1, first patch. Okay.
The year, season, and patch number. Season 2 will then kick off in patch 25.s2.1. You get the idea.
Okay, that is it.
That's fine. That's a fine change.
Must will be in January.
It's easier to like keep track when a certain patch was released, right? Because you already know that, okay, it was this specific patch of this season. It tells you much more than like patch 15.12. I have no idea when 12 was released, right?
Season. We'll be back then to share some extra stuff that'll come out later in season 1. We do want to acknowledge though that we've covered most of the big changes that you'll see day 1 next year. That said, still got a few surprises left.
And of course, we'll have the cinematic to kick things off. To no one's surprise, we can confirm that it's also going to focus a lot on Noxus and Noxus.
That's cool.
But that's all we can share for now.
So, we know that the next Arcane, or I guess I shouldn't say Arcane, the next animated show or live action, one of them, is going to feature Noxus, right? We got a confirmation that they are exploring Noxus, Demacia, and Ionia. My bet right now is that we are going to get an animated show by Fortiche with a focus on Noxus and Ionia, and then the live action team is probably going to tackle Demacia. So my question here is this cinematic going to be canon, or is this cinematic going to become irrelevant in like 2 or 3 years? That's my question.
We hope you all have a great December, great holiday season, and a happy new year. Thanks so much for everything, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Right, so that was it for League of Legends. I was expecting them to show a bit more of Victor, considering that he's showing up in the PBE tomorrow. So let's look at the new TFT Dev Drop, because Victor does make an appearance here, or the new Victor, I should say. Right, so this is a continuation of the previous TFT cinematics. Pretty cute, pretty adorable. We're going to get a nice moment in a bit. Not this Warwick, not this version of Warwick. We got Mel, as we'll see. She's a new exclusive unit. And here's the new Victor.
Promise to help, but you stole everything from us. I could always take more. You still needlessly suffer.
I think you've done enough.
It's so weird to see Vander without a beard. But yeah, this is pretty adorable. Cute, very cute cinematic. And here, since I have already watched this video and I'm not that super into TFT, I think I'm just going to jump to the more interesting parts. With this being said, if you want to watch the full video, I should have a link down below. And here they are, ladies and gentlemen, the 3 new units for TFT's current set. We have Victor, which should be his VGU version, and we have Mel, which might or not become a champion in League, who knows? And we have this version of Warwick that probably does not look familiar to you, and that's because this never happened. And I'm so confused as to why this is a thing. I think it might be because making him more wolf here allows them to reuse the rig that they have for Warwick, which means they don't have to make a new rig and new animations. With this being said, like, I've tweeted about this today, but like, we have the new Vi skin in League, which has gauntlets that were like destroyed and modified by Jinx, which does not happen in the show. Over in Wild Rift, they have a version of Firelight's Echo that looks so weird. Like, the color scheme is different from what he has in the show. He has the clock hand, but the clock hand is also like different from the one that appears in the show. He has the Z drive, which I think looks accurate. However, in the show, when he's using the Z drive and the bat, he has a completely different outfit, so I don't know why they went with that one. It's just so many weird decisions. And then we have Wolf evolved Warwick. Like, what happened here? Right? I'm so confused, and I haven't looked at it. I don't know if Mel's design is accurate, but if she is becoming a champion in League, this might be based on like a design that takes place after the show. So I'm not as concerned about her. I'm a bit concerned about Victor because as far as we know, Victor's story ended. I'm not saying that he died, but they're probably not going to explore him further anytime soon, I think. So the fact that his design is a bit different, like the hand is a bit different, the body is a bit different, is weird to me. I just don't really understand all of these decisions.
Ripping enemies apart with increased damage and omnivore. If you see a Warwick on the enemy board...
Yeah, and we can see here that this Warwick is using just the same animations from base Warwick. So, should be an epic tier skin.
This 6-cost fires his death ray instead.
It's so weird to see him just standing still, not moving.
And will make everyone a believer, whether they like it or not.
And if you notice here, I'm pretty sure this is based on the same dance he has now in League. A bit different, but I think the inspiration is the same.
Peak of her power, dashing around the battlefield, reducing damage to allies, and unleashing story.
I think Mel looks cool.
And the kicker.
Mel is like the only one I don't really mind all that much. And here the TFT team talks about Mel's audio design and animations, and they make it seem like it was like all of this work was made by the TFT team for TFT, but I'm pretty sure that Mel is becoming a champion in League. I know there have been some leaks, but even ignoring those, the next season is themed around Noxus, and Mel is a Noxian. It makes sense for her to be the new champion coming in that season, right?
Warwick also has a lot of expectations behind him, right? Unlike Victor, who is really very different from his League of Legends interpretation, or Mel, who is a new character, Warwick, we wanted to feel like Warwick. Players love Warwick. Rachel, can you go into that process?
Of course, yeah. It's like you mentioned.
Like, I understand this, and I'm totally on board. Warwick should feel like Warwick, and I'm glad they went with a more wolf-like design that we all like. I'm just confused as to why that design and the one from the show aren't just the same. And again, the only conclusion that I can make is that they wanted to reuse the rig from the classic Warwick, and they didn't want to make a new rig and new animations and stuff like that. That's the only explanation I can find. Obviously, they are not going to say that. They're going to tell us that they want Warwick to feel familiar. I understand that. And here, they mention Warwick's animations, but like most of these are from base Warwick. Like the only new one I've seen is I believe this one, which I think is a new idol animation. Besides that, all of these just seem like the classic one. We even saw his dance earlier, so...
His animations will feel like he's very effortlessly lifting...
Yeah, this looks a bit weird. It's just standing there while the arm moves. I don't know if I like that. And now we have a new tactician. He's from the same type as Unbound Jinx, and I have to say this was definitely a choice. From what I've seen, the people who like Warwick were not too happy that he never got a wolf face in Arcane, so to choose Warwick and to choose this version in specifically, yeah, that is definitely a choice. I was expecting them to go with Victor or maybe Vi, but no, they went with Warwick. Sure. But yeah, I think this was it for today. I'm going to be honest, I think the only thing I'm actually excited about are the new League seasons and how they are incorporating, lore into the thematics. And I wasn't expecting the seasons to even be connected to each other. That is really cool. It's going to be really fun to theorize and speculate on upcoming seasons based on the ones that we get. It's also very cool that we are getting a lore mention inside League. I love that. I love that they are bringing Atakan. I hope to see more like that in the future. And yeah, besides that, I don't really care that much about the new Victor. Not super excited about the new Warwick skin. And I think Mel is just alright. It's just okay. I'm not like super excited about her, but I also don't dislike the idea of her as a champion. I think it's going to be interesting to see where her story goes after Arcane. So, like I said in the beginning, later this week I'll be checking out the Jinx minigame, and you can expect my video on Act 3 to be live probably next week. Let me know down below what you think about these new updates to League and TFT. As I said, I'm pretty excited about the League ones, and consider liking the video and subscribing if you haven't already. It's free and you can always change your mind later. With this being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.